Hey everyone, it's me, Canadensis. Welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I post new doll and toy related videos multiple times every week, so make sure to subscribe to see more. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing, and I haven't come up with a title yet, but a video explaining what I do after the camera turns off in my videos. So what I do after I get my dolls. I'm thinking how I prepare my dolls for my collection. So this isn't just literally cleaning them up. It's every step from the moment I turn off the camera filming a video to the doll making it onto my shelf. So I thought that would be fun and helpful. I get questions about basically every aspect of this, so I thought I'd answer them. So if you've been asking how I display my dolls, where I get the supplies I display my dolls with, what I use to track my dolls, all of these things, hopefully I will be able to help you here. So I have a quick little list and then I will do a kind of walkthrough with some of these dolls that I have here. So first, I got a new doll. I'm going to unbox and assess them. Normally you see me do that on camera. Whether that's a new unboxed doll, a doll that I bought from a friend, a P.O. box doll, a doll that I bought used, a doll that I got at a thrift store, anything like that, I still assess them because there can be some issues. One time I bought a rainbow high doll brand new and she did not come with her skirt. I was so focused on her face that I didn't notice that she was missing her skirt. And that's one of those things you need to figure out quickly so that you can either contact the company to see if they will work with you to get you the skirt that you're missing, or if you need to like go try to return her or find a replacement, just all of these sorts of things. So assessing the doll is important. Also, when you get a used doll, something like, okay, what am I going to need to do? What are the steps? So this doll, immediately I know that she is missing shoes and her hair is pretty messed up. And the way that you can know this, if you get a doll that you're not super familiar with, is use some kind of online directory or use other listings that you find online. So that goes into the next point, which is I like to catalog my dolls on Dollect if possible. Dollect.net is an interactive doll directory website that I founded, and it's a volunteer-run community. I did not make anywhere near all of the pages on that website, and it's also meant to be a directory of every doll ever. We have strengths in some areas, and we have a lot to work on in other areas, simply because like dolls like Barbie are really, really difficult to catalog, but we're working on it. So if a doll that I just got is in Dollect, I will add them to my list on Dollect, and your list can be anything. You can put them on a wish list, you can put them on a list of dolls I still need to restore, you can put them in just your collection list, all sorts of things. And then another thing that I do as a supplement to Dollect has like a pretty like organized with pictures sort of list that I can make, but I also like to catalog them in a spreadsheet, and your spreadsheet can be as vague or as robust as you'd like it to be. As you'd like it to be. My spreadsheet is a huge work in progress, and it's really, really good for some years and really, really bad for other years. It's something that you want to start earlier in your collecting days, but if you do start it later, it's going to be a lot of catching up, which is what mine was. I believe I started mine when I had like 2,000 dolls, and I believe I have doubled that. So, you know, it's changed quite a bit. But the spreadsheet is super, super useful. Like if I'm at the thrift store and on the fly, I need to check, ooh, do I have this My Little Pony? And I know I've cataloged like all of my Little Ponies, which I haven't. I could search really fast the My Little Pony's name. And then I could find out, oh, the one that I have actually has a haircut, so I want a different one. Or, okay, I remember getting a Draculaura doll that looks just like this, but I'm not confident right now while I'm out in public and everything's going on, and I don't have a picture on my Monster High collection, or I know that Draculaura doll is in a bin. I need to make sure if she has her shoes or not, so I can go look in my spreadsheet. So it's useful in that sort of way, and it's also useful because in the event something happens, God forbid something happens, I have a detailed record of every single doll that I have. Now, I have that through YouTube, so I could create that record if something were to happen, but I wouldn't have to. I mean, I would have to kind of, because I still have not finished cataloging these dolls, but, you know, it would be really nice to have that there. All right, for restoration, I have done a lot of restoration videos. Are they good? That's debatable. I think my American Girl ones are actually solid. If you collect American Girl dolls and you were looking for ways to restore them, I think I have a pretty good breadth of different conditions and different like hair types and things for American Girl and how to actually clean them. I'm not super good with the shine marks or the scuffs or stains and stuff, but I feel like I can get you a doll that you got at the thrift store to look pretty good. pretty easily. I hope that those are good guides. I am going to be working in this new year on having more guides for different things. So I especially want to do a hair guide, and that's part of why these dolls are going to come in handy. So I won't be restoring these dolls in this video because I want to do an entire video on this polypropylene hair. I don't know if I'm going to include this doll because I'm not sure how to recurl it yet without a curling iron. And I do have a small curling iron, but I am scared to use it. I don't know. I haven't even used a curling iron on my own hair before, so it's something that I'm very afraid to do. But I know how to restore a polypropylene doll with straight hair pretty well. And I can even do wavy sometimes too. And I have the Bratzilla's Make on a Broomsticks doll that really struggles, so, you know, I think I will be able to at least somewhat walk people through that. Anyway, I will be walking through a simple restoration, which is just generally, I got a new doll, let's say this one. I'm also going to use some from previous hauls so that I can give you like a better look. Just what I do, instead of just going, okay, I got this new doll, she looks clean, slap her on a shelf, because I almost never do that, because I just don't know where they've been. Like, I got this off of Mercari. The Mercari seller seemed really cool, but even someone with the cleanest house could have kept the dolls in the garage, or could have kept the dolls in a bin that got weird. There's lots of different things that could have gone on that could have caused the doll to have, like, exposure to mold or mildew or other things that could impact my collection that I don't want to have happen. So although they do come into this room, that's kind of the reality of doing YouTube, is that I really want to open them on camera with you guys. So that's something, it hasn't caused any issues yet. If I see it start causing issues, we'll change the tune a little bit. But if I notice any issues, they leave this room basically immediately and I get to work on them, and it's a very open room, so I'm not too worried about it. But if you do spot mold and mildew, I do have a couple of videos on. I have one specific video that I would kind of recommend. It's kind of a disaster because I used to post every single day, and it was very serious for me that I post every single day. So sometimes a video that I felt needed a little bit more work would just have to go out. So I'm not super proud of my mold and mildew cleaning video, but it will help you if you're struggling and you don't know where to start. There's also lots of other YouTubers that do great videos. I highly recommend for restorations checking out 1,000 Splendid Dolls' channel. I learned a lot of what I know from them, and then I adapt it into things that I like doing or that I find work better for me. So that's kind of part of it though too, is never just go with something because somebody said it. If you're noticing, okay, well, when I use this, it works better, or, well, I was using this and it worked better before, and now when I use this other method, I don't like it, but this YouTuber told me to. Do what makes you feel comfortable and actually helps your dolls. Okay. And then the final step is shelving / storing my dolls, and I will show you a couple of the areas that I store and shelve my dolls, what I do, where I get those things, different methods that I use, whether you want the expensive version of how to shelve your dolls or the cheap version of how to shelve your dolls. I'll walk you through it. So that was a lot. I hope you enjoyed all the random pictures and things that were on the screen. This video, I don't really know how to format it, so I'm just doing it the way that I think might work, but we will see. The first step that we will be cutting away and starting on is we got a new doll. Let's unbox and assess. So take it away, me on the other side of the camera. All right, this is a very weird area that we're looking at here, but I wanted to explain to you the assessing portion with a few examples. So I brought over some dolls from another review, and then we're going to be using the dolls from my previous video, which was an online shopping doll haul. If you'd like to see the videos where these dolls that I'm showing you come from, check the description and I'll have them linked. Anyway, we're going to clean a couple of these. These, I know a lot of doll collectors collect little figures. These are technically dolls by definition, but you know, a lot of doll collectors would differentiate these as figures. I'll show you how to clean these. It's pretty straightforward. One thing that I will do while I'm assessing is see if anything needs extra special care and attention. So I do not believe these will need extra care and attention, so I'm not really worried. The thing that I am a little bit worried about is maybe losing some of this glitter, but I will just be careful and not scrub that area. I think will be okay. Okay, next we have this Mary makeup doll. This is a doll from the 60s. She has a makeup gimmick. I don't have the makeup, but that's why her face looks a little bit like a bit washed out. That's what's going on. You can actually see some remnants of the makeup that had been done to her in the past, which I think is really beautiful. She's from the 60s, so that's quite a long time ago when that likely happened. And as you can see, this doll's in basically perfect condition, considering she's from the 60s, but I still want to clean her. Now, I definitely delay cleaning a lot of my older dolls sometimes because I'm nervous about it. And there's no harm in that. If you feel like I want to wait until I'm more comfortable and I have more skills to clean this doll, or I want to wait until I can ask people questions about it, that is totally valid. I have a bin in, I have a specific area in my house, like a bathroom that is designated for doll restorations, because I just happen to have an extra one and it's connected to my doll room, so it's perfect. I keep a bin in there of the dolls that I'm waiting on doing for whatever reason, and there's a lot of reasons, and ultimately your doll hobby is for you and it's for your enjoyment, so take it at the pace that you want to take it at. Just make sure you don't let that bin get too backed up. I think that that's very important just in general. So anyway, my assessment of this doll is that I don't believe I will need any special considerations other than being very mindful of the paint on her face. I want to scrub her face with a toothbrush because she does have some remnant of old quote unquote makeup, some kind of marker on her face, but I don't want to lose any of the paint that's already there because a lot of times these dolls have really like faded paint on their faces from being washed so many times because you had to wash the makeup off, but this one's face looks pretty good. Like, I'm pretty sure she's not missing any paint on her face, so I want to be really, really careful of that. And her hair, I'm not confident what hair type this is. I'm pretty sure I know. In the 60s, there's, like, the hair types, even the ones that are still used today, feel totally different, so I'm going to be very careful with this. I don't think I need to do really anything with this except wash it, though, so I'm okay. And her clothing. So for doll clothing, this highly depends. If you are not sure, there's easier ways to clean things. For the most part, it's fabric. It can be put in a bowl of water with soap or OxiClean. Be careful if you're using OxiClean, and if you're using warm water, be very mindful of things like red fabrics. They might bleed, so make sure you don't just stick them in a bowl. Make sure you're actually paying attention, and make sure your bowl is white or clear so that you can see if any color is leaving your fabric, because if red leaches off of this fabric, it's going to get on the white on the sleeves. Now this looks very clean, so I'm probably going to spot treat it because it is from the 60s and I'm a little bit more worried, and I'm basically probably just going to use like a toothbrush and soap just to really make sure I disinfect this. You can also use wipes if you have something that feels super delicate, super old, and you really want to clean it, but certain materials just avoid cleaning through most ways. Like if it looks like it's peeling, that you might just want to avoid cleaning that altogether because you might destroy it. Anyway, we spent a long time on that doll. I wanted to show you this one next. This looks like a very easy restoration, but she's in very bad condition. The reason I say this looks clean is because nothing looks out of place or out of sorts. Also, I don't know what this doll is. She could be a pocketbook doll, but she doesn't look like the ones I've seen, so I'm not sure. But anyway, all I think this restoration is going to take is a toothbrush, some scrubbing, and this outfit really, really needs a good cleaning because it's really gross. But she's just dirty. Like, she just seems aged, so yeah. And then, as an example for this one, as a YouTuber, as a content creator, I'm going to set this doll aside so that I can do her for a separate video. But let's just say, oh, I'm scared, I don't know what to do for this doll, I'm going to set her aside until I feel better about it. That's what we're going to do today. So I'm not going to be worried about this doll. This doll, I also kind of want to do a restoration video on if I can figure it out. She has some pretty big issues, like her nose being scuffed and her eyebrow or her eyelash also being scuffed. So, we'll just see about, but I will be doing these two today, Vega and Libby from Star Darlings, and yeah, these two are going to be pretty straightforward, so yeah, yay. I will show you what I do for new dolls with this doll in particular, since she has a like tangle in her hair. I probably won't show the other two, but I'll just do them off camera. And then the American Girl doll, I will delay doing as well because I'm thinking I want to do save that for a video, but if I don't, that's fine. Hi guys! So we are in my office because the next step requires my office, I mean kind of. So one step I wanted to show you in particular is how to identify a doll. Obviously I told you what this doll is already, so I know what this doll is, but if you got this doll in some lot or at the thrift store or something and you were like, I have no idea what this doll actually is, and you really wanted to find out, I wanted to show you how I would do so. So this is Google Lens. You can take a picture of your doll, just make sure it's at an angle that an eBay seller, say, would use, and then search it. And as you can see, immediately I got who this doll is. Now, you can't trust this immediately. You need to actually make sure it looks like that, because there could be a different release also. But clearly, this is Disney Star Darlings, Starland Fashion, Libby. And I wanted to show you as well that you can refine your searches on here. So if you're not finding your doll, you could say eBay, and then it will show you specifically eBay listings that look like this doll. That can help you a lot if you're looking for a doll that's not wearing her outfit. Another thing that could work, it depends what your picture is like, using Dollect as actually it worked. using dialect as your search term, if that makes sense. The AI overview actually can be right sometimes, but please do not trust this because it can be super, super wrong, and you know, it'll steer you very wrong. But anyway, once you've identified the doll, I actually already put her into my spreadsheet here, but I wanted to show you. So these are the categories that I have in my spreadsheet right now. I have the year I got them. Again, this is specifically for my pivot tables, which I'll show you. The date I received them. So I usually do what date I posted the video because that's just kind of easy for me and easy to track. Then I have if I got the doll secondhand or new. I'm currently working on new being retail specifically, like I purchased it from a store. Even if I get a doll that is in box secondhand, I would still refer to that as secondhand, just to be clear. So yeah, so that's what that is. I'm working on a new pivot table, but I haven't even close to gotten that for every single doll on this list yet. As you can see, I'm at $2,864. I'm pretty sure I have over 4,000, so we're kind of behind. I put that they're a doll. I haven't used this as much, but if I did dolls, fashions, toys, which I actually have a completely different spreadsheet for now, so I'm not worried about that, and play sets, that's what that is referring to. Because I only want to count the dolls. The playsets and fashions I'd like to keep separate. So my 2,800 count does actually include playsets and stuff, but I can refine it. If you're not familiar with spreadsheets, you can get familiar pretty quickly, but I could tell it, only show me things I got as PR samples. Only show me things I got secondhand. Only show me things that I got retail, if that makes sense. Anyway, next is the name. So that's the character name, the doll name, whatever it is. So this is Libby. She is from Star Darlings. I should have put Starland Fashion, but I didn't, but that's where I would put that. In fact, I will right now. I just was too lazy to look up the name. Starland Fashion. Ta-da! Then we have Star Darlings, the brand, company Jack Pacific. I paid about $8 for her, and I got her from this Instagram seller. I like to track that sort of thing. Then I would put store. I would probably put Instagram here. This store area I'm working on overhauling because I want to have this as a chart as well. So I need to make sure all of the names of things I use are similar. The release year, you can see that I only did this for a few things, but I'd like to track what release years because I think it would be interesting to have a chart for each of my, like, how many dolls do I have from each decade or each year, stuff like that. I thought that would be cool. Condition on arrival. I use this sometimes, not really, but if I got a doll and she didn't come with shoes, I would probably put it there. It really just depends. Sometimes I just don't bother, but really depends. So this Libby did not come with her shoes and had messy hair, so I would put no shoes. I fixed the hair quickly, so I'm not worried about it. And no necklace. I'm pretty sure she's supposed to have a necklace. Make info. This is something I specifically use if there is like a variant. If not, I don't really care that much. But if you're somebody who like collects Barbies, that could be really important and valuable to track like what body, what face, stuff like that. Video, this is a huge work in progress, but I wanted to indicate if I've done a video on them before. You might, I mean, that's very specific to me, but that's kind of for tax purposes. Special notes on the doll, again, that's just extra damage to the doll. I don't almost ever use that unless there's something really important that I can't fix. Later pairing, if I found the shoes for this doll that I said I have no shoes and no necklace, I would put it there. I don't really do that, but you know, it's there. Collection location, that's what I was referring to earlier. And yeah, that's all I have on here. I don't use a lot of these. They're pretty conditional, but that's by design, you know. Okay, then I wanted to show you my charts. These are pivot tables and Google Sheets. Specifically, you would have something different if you did. I blacked out the amount of money that I've spent on each doll, or like on each year here, but that does count the dollars, to be clear. And then I have the amount of dolls I got each year. As you can see, I am doing really well for some years and not for others. Like I definitely got more than $23 in 2019. I just have not tracked them appropriately yet. But yeah, so the early years I'm not doing so hot with. I'm pretty sure 2012 I have down though. And then my childhood dolls, I need to catalog better. I only have 3 of them here. But you know, that's what I'm working on. Unconfirmed to verify, or I don't know what year. I need to figure that out. This is a chart, or this is a graph, or sorry, yeah. Well, these are charts. This is a table that is taking information from here and putting it over here. So it's saying how many dolls I have from each company. So as you can see, I put IEA and IEA Toys, so I need to fix that because that's the same thing. But American Greetings, I have 3 dolls from Holly Hobby specifically. So when I press the plus, it'll show me my Basic Fun / Bridge Direct. I need to change this to just Basic Fun. You can see I'm working on this, but Pinky Cooper and the Jet Set Pets, I have 9 of them, allegedly, from what I have put down. Let me find a company where I actually have quite a few things. There. So MGA, it says I have 629 MGA dolls. I most likely have more. These are just the ones in the spreadsheet, right? And then if I click the plus, it'll show me exactly what brands. So Bratz should all be in one. There's probably a trailing space here. And then I do want these Bratz separate, but Bratz Kids should have a Z. So this one should be separated. So I do check this periodically. OMG always gets messed up because I put exclamation marks or not exclamation marks. And then tweens is the exact same situation. So I'm working on this. But those are fine. They don't really need to be good because I just use this, and then this sorts into this. So this is the chart showing, and when you open these, it actually messes up the charts. You have to make sure they're all closed, but it's showing the percentage of my collection that is each company. I thought this would be interesting, but as you can see, about 50%, a little bit over 50% of my collection is actually MGA and Mattel, which are the two biggest doll making companies. Well, two of the biggest, I should say. So that's not surprising, but that's a lot. And then I am actually surprised that I don't have more of a percentage of Disney Store dolls, although it is one of the bigger percentages. Jakks Pacific, I'm kind of biased towards Jakks Pacific. Most people would not have this many, but I really, really love Winx Club dolls. So, you know, I have a lot of those. And yeah, I really like this. I think it's really cool to have this. And I could also filter this to not include MGA and Mattel if I wanted to see like specifically the other smaller brands, how many I have. So that's what that is. And then this is how many dolls from each year that I added to my collection. I know this is very wrong right now, but when I'm done, it'll be great. And you just have to look up how to make pivot tables and charts and things in Google Drive if that's what you're interested in. And then I have some other things that not super using. So like when I sell a doll, I keep track of how much I sold her for versus how much I paid, stuff like that. These are different collectibles. I'm kind of not using those right now, but I could and I should. And then P.O. Box Tracker is where I wanted to track the P.O. Box stuff, but I haven't really gotten to that yet. And yeah. Hey guys, welcome to the doll bathroom. So again, like I said earlier, when I bought my house, there was actually an extra bathroom that is connected to one of my doll rooms. So I specifically use it to clean my dolls. And that is really, really helpful to have a separate space like this. If you're not able to have a separate space, you could maybe have, like, if you have your own house or even if you share it, you could see if you could designate like a bin in the kitchen or a like cabinet in the kitchen that's for your doll supplies. Under the sink, I used to use a lot for doll supplies because a lot of them are the same as other cleaning supplies. So, you know. But anyway, I wanted to show you some of the things that I use. This is not everything. There's lots of conditional things that you only use sometimes for very specific things. So allow me to show you. First, I have this little drawer system. Oops. I specifically keep, okay, there's receipts up there. It's kind of weird. But I keep the hair accessories that I might want to use on the fly while I'm restoring stuff. Ooh, there's lots of water splashage on this. But yeah, I want to make that more useful, but it's not right now, and that's fine. I have conditioner. This is like the cheapest conditioner that you could purchase. It makes brushing doll hair out really easy. So if I'm having like tangling issues and I don't want to hurt the hair, I load the hair with conditioner and then brush through it. So just get a really cheap one. It doesn't matter. I get whatever I can find on sale, discount stores, or just the cheapest one. I'm pretty sure this is like $2. This is OxyClean. This is used as a stain remover. You can also use it for smell issues. So cigarette smoke, I have a video on how I deal with cigarette smoke smell. It was a weird video. It was the first time that I had ever done it, but I still use those methods to this day. The only thing that I do that I did not do in that video is that I also let them air out. But there are other methods, but this is really good for smells, mildew smells, stuff like that. It's also good for stains, obviously. And you can use it to scrub dolls sometimes. I just don't recommend using harsh things like this to scrub dolls unless you absolutely have to. So anyway, that's my OxyClean. If I have a doll like this, I might try to use OxyClean, but the issue with using OxyClean on a doll like this is that I don't know if the dyes will run or not. And I don't want the dyes to run because they'll stain the shirt and they'll be faded. So I'm gonna have to play that one by ear. Magic erasers are good. This is an actual magic eraser like the brand, but anything like this, what this is it's basically a really, really fine grade sandpaper. So a lot of people recommend this just cold turkey, use it to restore your dolls, use it for everything. I very much caution that. Use it on limbs. You can use it on faces if you absolutely have to, but be mindful that it is sandpaper. It probably will be fine. You can probably scrub a face and be okay the first time, or maybe even the first 10 times, I don't know. But just be mindful that it is sandpaper. And it has some kind of soap embedded in it, so when you get it wet, it's a very good tool, but you want to be very careful. Also, do not use this to clean your walls. It will scrape the paint. Anyway, Then I use, this is really beat up because I use it a lot. Also toothbrushes. You're going to want to use a toothbrush too. I just don't know where my dog cleaning toothbrush is right now. For some reason it's not in here. But anyway, this is a hand scrub brush. I recommend you get something that is comfortable in your hand like this, because this is a tool that you need to be using. Even if you have a doll like this that looks pretty clean, you just think that rubbing her down real quick with soap would be fine, go ahead and rub her down with this. Dolls to be mindful of using this sort of thing on are older dolls, because the paint might not be sealed to the face the same as newer dolls. This doll, I could probably like run boiling water over her face for like 3 hours straight and nothing would happen. She'd be fine. But say this doll, I would not do that at all. I wouldn't use this on her face at all, because it could make the face paint come loose. There are also some dolls by Mattel, some Barbies and Monster High, Ever After High dolls from the early 2010s that can sometimes have this issue. So just pay attention and be careful is my point. But anyway, this is something that, like, my main thing is scrubbing dolls with this. Very important. Another thing that I stand behind, I could not recommend enough, and every doll collector needs to have at least one, is a metal brush. You can buy these as wig combs, wig brushes, whatever. They come out in a lot of names, but you can get them at beauty supply stores. That's where this one's from. As you can see, mine has been used a lot. The little bristles are getting stuck inside, which is funny. I think there's like, yeah, you just have to pull them out again. But also a lot of them have come out because this does so much heavy lifting in my collection. I use this so much. I have others. I have smaller ones that are better for styling. I have an actual like metal fine tooth comb, something like this, but it's it's metal. The reason for this is most doll hair is plastic. You might have a doll with human hair, I don't know. You do you. But this is some grade of plastic. If you haven't thought about it and you've heard doll hair terms like saran, polypropylene, nylon, this is polypropylene. This, I'm thinking, is some grade of older nylon, but I'm not confident. This might be an old saran, but I'm not confident. This Bratz doll that I have here for a separate reason is saran. I want to do a video on how I can tell them apart, but there is a video by 1,000 Splendid Dolls that's really good. But anyway, they're grades of plastic. So saran, wrap, polypropylene you see in like various types of plastic, nylon rope, stuff like that. They also all have different grades, so it can be pretty difficult. Even me, like, I feel like I'm pretty good at it, but nylon will fool me sometimes, because nylon can be pretty low grade. It can also be really, really good. Hair that's in really good condition versus really bad condition feels quite different. Hair that's been, like, really, really played with, even after you restore it, will feel quite different. So anyway, you know, there's things like that. So yeah, I think that's where I'll stop for, like, general tools. Oh, also dish soap. Use dish soap. It's pretty harsh, so if you're having if you're doing a doll like this that you want to be really careful with, maybe don't use dish soap. You can use a soft bristled brush and some kind of less harsh soap, like even hand soap. We're just trying to clean off any grime and any bacteria from the dolls, because again, we don't know where they came from. Oh, for washing the clothing, this is the bowl that I generally use, because I like to do them one at a time, because I like to make sure if I'm doing a bunch of clothes at a time, I know everything's gonna be fine, I use a big bowl. But anyway, it's white, so I can see if there's any issues. And this I use OxyClean in, but I also use dish soap. Dish soap is more than fine. You don't need to be using detergents. It's gonna be okay. But basically all I do, I'll give you a quick show if I can get this little outfit off. And of course there's gonna be things that even if I made the most thorough video I could possibly make, trying to include every single situation I've ever run into with a doll, inevitably I would miss something. Somebody's gonna have some crazy situation that happened to their doll that I did not think of. So this is just a general guide. Okay, I put it in there. I would use hot water, so I would have to run this for a while, but I'll just show you cold. And then watch it for color running at all. I would put some soap in there. If I'm scared that soap will somehow hurt it, I could just do hot water and rub it. This outfit, again, is very, grimy. It just seems to be quite old, but I need to be very careful because it is fraying quite a bit on this tie here. But you can just see, it just looks like it's very old. But yeah, it needs to have hot water, it needs to have dish soap, so I'm doing nothing right now, basically. But yeah, let me show you just some sizzle reel of cleaning some dolls now. Oh, by the way, I wanted to let you know about two other things. Boiling water, specifically a kettle, an electric kettle, just get one. I don't drink tea, and I've never owned an electric kettle before. I didn't really even know that they existed very much, but I kept getting recommended them, and finally I was like, okay, whatever. I got it, changed my life. boiling water is really, really good for fixing doll hair. And the reason for that is because direct contact with heat can cause the hair to melt because, again, it is literally plastic. And just regular hot water doesn't do a lot. You want to kind of melt it to get it back into its shape, but you don't, or back into its original form, but you don't want to literally melt it. So, another thing also is a straightening iron. Now, I would consider a straightening iron advanced. I would consider a electric kettle boil treatment to be kind of intermediate. I have lots of videos showing boil treatments, and there's lots on YouTube, so find them. But anyway, I'm going to show you a little bit of the straightening iron because it is very important, and I think I would consider it intermediate. I would consider it something that you need to be very careful of and need to practice and learn how to do, but it's not too big of a deal. Mine is a apparently mine's a good one. Somebody told me that this is a good one, but I just found it at Goodwill. The importance, the biggest thing is that you need one that has variable heat settings and is reliable. This one sometimes will get way hotter than it says it does. So you just always want to be careful, even if you trust it completely. Anyway, I'm going to show you on this little guy what I'm going to do. So underwear is going to get washed the same as the outfit, and this is what the doll looks like right now. You want to get anything like this out. I have a thing that catches grossness. It's a little thingy, because a lot of doll hair ends up in my sink for obvious reasons. So you don't want that to go down the sink and ruin your plumbing. Anyway, let's get started. So I have dish soap. This is just the dish soap that we use for dishes, so whatever. And you want to be very careful with this doll. I'm pretty sure this one's from the 60s, so I don't know the nature of the face paint, so I'm just going to rub very, very lightly. Generally, they do pretty well, but again, you always want to be very careful. I'm showing you the one that I need to have the most consideration for, but I'll clean the others as well. So let me show you. So already looks a lot cleaner. And the dish soap, it degreases, so it will get off really old stuff. Even cigarette tar, or whatever it is, whatever cigarette staining is, that like goo that gets on things from years of cigarette exposure, that comes off really well with degreasing soap. It also gets disinfected, which is very important. With the dish soap, unlike your own hair, doll hair isn't supposed to have oils in it. Oils actually harm plastic, so you want the oils out of the hair. That's one thing that I will say as a warning with conditioner. Conditioner tends to be oil-based. I take it as a risk that I am willing to take, and I've never had any issues, but just because I haven't doesn't mean that you won't, and you might not want to use it. It's up to you. It is really cold outside, so the water is staying cold, so I will cut the camera in a second. But we don't necessarily need warm water for these preliminary scrubbings. But anyway, with your own hair, you obviously don't want to use dish soap in it because it would get all the oils out and destroy your hair. But you want the oils out of this hair. It's literally plastic, so it gets harmed by oils being in it. So I go through and I scrub the scalp really good with dish soap. If it's hair that's not breaking or anything, I'll get in there and get under, try to get into the scalp, and really figure it out. This doll does seem to have some, what looks like glue staining from when she was put together in the factory. I don't think I'm going to be getting that off, and her outfit covers it, so I'm not really going to concern myself with it, but if I wanted to get that off, I'm sure the magic eraser could help. If it's not just, I think it's staining, so the magic eraser probably won't help, but if it was a surface issue. Her hair is feeling really dry, and I want to brush it, but it's quite old and a little bit more brittle. Oh, it's starting to get warmer. Yay. So warm water helps a ton, but for this, I'm going to do the conditioner. Again, do this with caution, and you can dish soap it out after when you're done, but I rub this in really good, and this isn't conditioning in the same way as, say, like my hair. If I were to use conditioner in my hair, it's formulated to do things to the organic substance my hair, not the plastic substance doll hair, right? It does definitely make it feel a little bit more moist, but you kind of want to get that off generally. Yeah, I'm going to comb through it. Because the conditioner's there, it's just going to be a lot easier to comb through. And you want to start at the bottom and work your way up. As with human hair, you would do the exact same thing to get the detangling going. I'll sometimes kind of test to see like where it is. So as you can see, if I don't start from the bottom, it's like that. And then you just work your way up. And never pull hard. If you feel yourself pulling hard, you could rip the hair out of the head, or you could break the actual hairs. These are plastic pieces, they cannot grow back. So you don't want to rip them out of the head.
and you don't want to break the piece. If it does break or you rip it out of the head, there are fixes for that. I'm not going to cover that in this video, but you can reroute the doll. I will actually be doing a rerouting dolls series this year. That's a big plan that I have. So if you want to see me specifically show you how to reroute, get excited, I guess. But yeah, again, this is a very simple restoration, so I'll just show you basically the entire thing here. I've combed through the hair. I generally prefer using the metal fine tooth comb that I have, but I've noticed that that will sometimes rip the hair out. So plastic brushes and combs and things are okay to use as long as you're being careful. Okay, so our doll is done, actually. An extra step you can do if you want to get the conditioner out, if you're concerned about it degrading your doll's hair. Personally, I don't think that the conditioner oil, after I wash it out, any minute trace of it that's in there is any worse than the oil that's on my fingers, so I'm not too concerned about it. But if you're trying to do this in a way that will be most most perfect to keep your doll perfect forever, then maybe wash the conditioner out if you used conditioner. But yeah, much better. If I was noticing the hair is out of place, like it kind of is right now, I'm not really worried about it, but if I wanted to reset the hair, boiling water will reset the hair back into place really nicely because you're kind of remelting. But yeah, the doll is much cleaner. I'm very happy with this. I'm going to continue to rinse this off camera, but there we go. That's a full restoration there. And then the clothing, warm water. All right, if you've never used OxiClean, this is a name brand. There are off-brands. It's oxygen cleaner. Just look up alternatives for OxiClean. You'll find something, I'm sure. It's basically a detergent of some sort. This is a little bit more powerful of a step than I normally recommend for doll-related things. Most doll fabrics are plastic fabrics. They can be a little bit more delicate, especially older ones, but if I'm dealing with staining like this, it looks like I have no luck otherwise. So OxiClean to the rescue. So let me show you. It's going to foam up. Let me move the camera a little bit. That would help, I think. Okay. Instead of trying to tip the bowl, how about we do this? You can also use baking soda and OxiClean on dolls. I don't really do it. I'll do it sometimes for like baking soda to rub stains off, but I'd rather use a magic eraser at that point. Okay. It foams up. I also will stir it around. And then I'm just going to watch for any bleeding of colors, really. And the water probably needs to be a little bit hotter. Oh, don't touch it with your finger like I just did. I think it recommends you not do that, so don't. These are the other dolls that I restored, so I followed the exact same steps as the other doll, except I did different considerations depending on the doll. I fixed the angle in a second, by the way, so don't worry. I just recommend watching as many videos about this as you can if you're nervous, but ultimately these are, for the most part, going to be children's toys. They're made out of plastic and fabric, and those are things that pretty universally can be cleaned the same way. If you're scared, something like dish soap will always be good. I'm so sorry Vega was looking like that. I moved her quickly because that was weird. But yeah, did some boil washes too, messed with the OxiClean some more. So for the purposes of this video, I was mostly just showing some like intake stuff, so I'm not too concerned about showing you in detail how these restorations went. And these are simple restorations. They weren't super dramatic. But they're still drying, and that's fine. They're gonna dry for probably around, like, in the morning. They should be pretty dry. I am gonna run a fan on them too. That's something you might want to consider doing. I like to use this area because, again, this is a sink we only really use for doll restoration. So this is how I dry the clothes a lot of the time. I will, like, stretch them out over these things and also just lay them out like this so that they have an opportunity to dry. I will say that my OxiClean was not working, so I did super hot boiling water, and then I left it for a while, and we did lose quite a bit of the dye. This was bluer, greener before. There's hair everywhere from the dolls, I'm sorry. But yeah, so we did have a casualty, but for the most part, the stains are gone. I am going to do a repeat stain treatment on that, but it's doing pretty good. This doll, night and day difference. I'm really excited to see what she looks like when she's dry. She looks great. I might do a boil wash on her hair. I don't super want to do that for a doll this age, generally, unless they really, really need it. But her hair, like, I like the coarseness that it has, but I think it would turn out quite silky if I decided to do a boil. Merry Makeup, excuse all the schmutz on the mirror, and also I said there was a bin of dolls that needed restoration. There it is. Yeah, there's Merry Makeup. Looks about the same, but she's cleaner, and I know that. And then this doll I did a boil to like tame some of that hair. She has polypropylene hair, so boiling doesn't do a whole lot, but it did like fix that area that was tangled, make it like lay down better, so I'm happy with it. Identical because she was already so clean, but you know. All of the clothing is drying. I also washed the plastic accessories. You can put these on like pencils sometimes. I'll have a mug with like pencils that I don't use where I'll stick stuff like this on if I feel it's needed. And then Libby actually had nylon hair, which is what I've suspected all along, but I've been told it's polypropylene. I just took their word for it, but no, that is straight up nylon. Beautiful nylon. So I didn't need to use the straightening iron like I thought. This was just, did I pour the boiling water on her? I think maybe I did. I think I did. That wasn't necessary though. It was already really good, but yeah. I will say be careful using boiling water on dolls with tinsel because sometimes it can hurt them. I wasn't really too concerned about it. But yeah, her hair is really, really nice now. Perfect. It is still wet, obviously, but it looks so much better. It's so nice. And yeah, I just leave her to drip her hair down. Nylon takes a lot longer to dry than others, by the way. That's another way you can kind of tell. Nylon holds water really, really well. The other hair types don't hold it nearly as well as nylon does. I think Vega has nylon potentially too. I can definitely tell that some of them do have polypropylene and not nylon hair though. Like seems like Piper maybe doesn't have a nylon, and it seems like Leona potentially doesn't either. But yeah, let's move to the other room. All right, now it's time for the displaying and storing section of the video. So I wanted to show you some storage, and I realized that I hadn't really described what I do with doll stuff, like not just the dolls. So in this bin, I keep paper things related to dolls. Now, I used to keep the back cards for every single doll ever. I'm not doing that anymore. Also, this area is a little bit dusty. It's not accessed very regularly. But yeah, so if you are the type of person who wants to keep packaging, box art, whatever, this is how you can do it. You can see I kept an entire Monster High box. This is actually a boxed set of things. Yeah, the outside of the bin is dirty, but the things inside are doing just fine. And then this is how I keep my doll accessories and sometimes dolls as well. It depends. So I have a list of every doll line that goes in here. If I end up with 2 smaller doll line bins, then this will be very useful. And as you can see, I do keep some dolls in here. So I have my Enchantimals, some of them in here in this We Three Friends case. I have my Fail Fix stuff in this bag. Sometimes I'll have multiple bags. Here's Capsule Chicks. Pinky Cooper. I've got some Novi Stars fashion packs in here. They're in the box, but for now I'm not displaying them, so that's where they are. Some La-Di-Da stuff. There's my B-Pack dolls. I don't know why I decided to put a full, like, not opened one in here, but there we are. Some Not a Surprise. Mermaids. So yeah, just keeping it in Ziploc bags generally. I'll usually label the bags if it's for like smaller doll lines, but a lot of this stuff is reused, so it's more Enchantimals. Things that I like, bags that I'm reusing. But for my Monster High collection, for example, I'll write this goes to new Scaremaster Catty Noir, or these are all accessories for various Catty Noir dolls, including, and then I'll write a list. Whatever works for you, it depends. So for these, I know exactly what they are immediately. I don't need to write down, oh, these are the Cape Club things. I just know. And also I have it here if I really, really needed to figure it out. And then, but for like Bratz, I will probably forget who's like what outfit goes to who. So I will keep that written down somewhere. Anyway, that's how I'm keeping their accessories. I have a lot of dolls, so I have a lot of bins with accessories like this, especially for lines like Bratz that have a lot of accessories. And I try to sort them by character, but for smaller doll lines where there's like 20 or less characters, I'm not really too worried about doing that, honestly. Unless they come with an obscene amount of accessories, I'm not concerning myself with that. Too much space it would take up. Okay, now I'll show you the actual dolls. This is one of the many ways that I store new in-box dolls, as well as the boxes that I'm keeping for dolls. So at the top, I have some Monster High dolls still in their shipper boxes. These are some empty boxes that I just happen to be keeping. That's what basically this entire area is, but there are a few dolls that are still in. I'm still working on organizing this. I just did a video showing this. These are some empty boxes that I'm keeping, and up to you what you want to keep and what you don't. So I'm not going to get into that very much, but there are still some boxes in here that I don't want to keep and I want to remove from my life. But yeah, any dolls that for whatever reason I want to keep in box, I keep in here, being mindful of any issues. Like this one actually has a hole, so she probably shouldn't be stacked on. Nothing's happening here, but I will probably open her because she does have the crack in her box. But yeah, and then I also have more back cards and things in there, some more paper accessories. There's some larger boxes that have like weirder things. These are some doll cases that are empty. I have some like PR kits, packaging, stuff like that. But yeah, just do what works for you. I'm very
happy to have this closet where I can keep this stuff out of sight. And it's kind of an exclusive closet for this kind of stuff. But I'd like to cull this collection to dolls that I actually do plan on displaying someday, dolls that I'm keeping for like archival purposes very seriously. Like there are some like that I'm specifically keeping for archival, and then to just be more picky in the future because I don't think I need every single doll box. And I am very picky because you know how big my collection is, and this is my new unboxed doll closet. I do have other places that I keep new unboxed dolls. I have a display, and then I also have an area in another closet that I keep them, but I'm really, really working on culling this collection because I just don't want to have a lot of new unboxed dolls. They don't make me happy, and my doll collection's supposed to make me happy. To be clear, in that last clip, I meant like having a million boxed dolls in the space that they take up doesn't make me happy. I'm keeping ones that make me happy. Anyway, this is how I store extra dolls or dolls that aren't on display. So like a lot of these Bratz dolls are not extras for me. I do not have that doll on display. I do not have this doll actually on display. Like a lot of these are like my ones, but they need work. They need their outfits. There's something going on with them. This is actually my childhood doll, but her face is messed up because I lent her to my little sister. These are some Barbies. And usually it's just because I'm working on a display or I don't have a display prepared yet. Sometimes it's because they need an actual restoration and all I did was a quick intake. A quick intake is just washing them with soap really fast or spot treating anything I see. Here's Monster High stuff and Ever After High. I really culled this collection. I downsized quite a bit. Ronaldo is so interested in what we're doing. He really cares about this doll intake tutorial. But I downsized that collection quite a bit. I was like, do I really need this many extras? And these aren't even extras. These are all ones that just aren't on display. Disney. I'm currently doing something. That's why this Winx box is here. More Disney. Just extras or ones that aren't on display yet for whatever reason, like I said. But yeah, this is how I keep them. I'd like to start having a list of everybody that's in here and also keeping that information in my spreadsheet. So like in drawer 1, I know what's in here. These are the smaller dolls. That's the point of these, is smaller doll lines and dolls that are literally smaller. But it would be nice to have like a full list somewhere. So yeah. And then Bratz, same thing. It would be very nice to have that because sometimes because these dolls like aren't on display, I wouldn't remember that I have 2 Wintertime Wonderland Chloes. I actually do remember that. I know that. But I might want a second one, but I won't like 100% confidently remember that I do have a second one because she's not on display. I don't see her all the time. So that's something that I do want to work on, is creating actual lists for these ones. These ones all aren't, for the most part, these ones aren't actually in my spreadsheet yet because I'm working on it. I'm working on it. It's the gauntlet. Anyway, now let's get into the actual like dolls that are on display and the considerations for that. All right, I wanted to just walk around my room and show you different displays and kind of the solutions that I've used for them. So for example, these risers, I will link the video from TikTok where you can get them from the TikTok shop. That's where I got them from. They're cheaper there than on Amazon. Generally, the price will change. But these risers are really, really good for most dolls, actually. I use them for Rainbow High and I use them for Barbie. Another thing that's a really low-cost solution that I really like, those risers that are 12 inches, they run about like $10 each generally, which is kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot. These, however, will be $1 or less each. These are actually shipping boxes. They're specifically made for trading cards, and I buy these in bulk, and I always do run out. And there's several different sizes of these you can get, just shipping boxes in general. They're easy to build. They're pretty uniform looking. You can customize them, like you could paint them if you wanted to. You could do all kinds of stuff. And an added bonus that I actually don't do is that you can store the doll's stuff in there because it's a box. But yeah, they're very sturdy. I like those a lot. Those ones I got on Amazon forever ago. I don't shop on Amazon anymore, and I don't want to specifically point people to Amazon, so I'll just tell you, you can get those in whatever places you can find that sort of product. And I will not link it below. But anyway, yeah, these are risers that I got at a store called Daiso years ago. Unfortunately, they don't have them anymore, but you can often find stuff like that in various stores as like spice racks and different things like that, closet organization. So check your local stores, they might have something. A lot of these are specifically made for Funko Pops. You can get them various places. I got them from Facebook Marketplace. My mom found a collector who was liquidating his collection and was getting rid of those. So that was super awesome. Those are some of the best ones that I have because they're specifically sized for like Funko Pops, I think, in the box. So they have a good amount of space. Over here, these were something that I got at Target. Unfortunately, they don't do them anymore, but yeah. I wanted to show you the most economical and the most like eco-friendly, I guess, version. And that would be using old doll boxes. Now you can cover those in paper to make them look less bad, but this is actually, I think, an insert from a doll box. It might just be a shipping box though. These are Rainbow High cheer boxes, which are a great size for risers. And you can see I'm using a lot of Rainbow High cheer boxes. I really like them, so I kept them specifically to use for risers. So that's another option. Using the boxes from the dolls that you get. Really, some dolls just do not have good boxes for this. They have to be pretty sturdy. You can sometimes put things inside to make them a little bit more sturdy though. But OMGs often came with, not anymore, a really good like drawer thing that was really good for using as a box. But yeah, basically anywhere in my collection, I'm doing some variation of repurposing boxes, using boxes that I bought for that. There's another repurposed box. These are risers that I specifically purchased. Those are the TikTok shop ones that I probably are my favorite right now. That's a repurposed doll box. I can't find the ones. There's these black boxes that I was getting off of I was getting them off of Amazon, but I would try to find them elsewhere now. But I'm not finding where they are right now. They're hidden well. I think I use them down here. No, I actually don't. What the heck? Oh, there's some. Those are just like the trading card boxes, except they're a little bit larger. So I like to use those. And yeah, you just kind of have to get creative. There's lots of really good risers. Just search acrylic, plastic, wood, riser, and look around, see what's in your budget, what like fits your theme. Here's a really cute one that I really like. Very shiny, very, very pretty. It's so pretty that I never use it because I am like, I need to find the perfect dolls to use it. Over here, you can see I used the packaging from a Rainbow High doll. This is specifically the like clothing little piece. That's actually really good as a riser. It's a good size too. So anyway, get creative is my point, but there's some ideas. As for shelving, the shelving that I use throughout most of my room is the IKEA Vietsjo shelving. I really like its clean look. It is metal with glass shelves. They're also really easy to build, and they're pretty affordable compared to other options, and they look really nice for their price. So they're the one that I would recommend the most. If you want your shelving to have doors, figure that out. I don't like my shelves to have doors at all. I feel like it creates a dust disaster. People think like, oh, your dolls are out in the open, they must be getting so dusty. No, because there's like airflow. The dust doesn't really settle on them. When I have closed shelving, and I do have some, the dust really settles in there because it gets stuck in there and can't leave. But I wanted to show you doll stands as well. I'll show you another shelf in a little bit, but doll stands, mostly the vast majority, and I mean the vast majority of my collection, is on these stands. The stands that I use for the majority of my collection are aftermarket doll stands. They're available basically anywhere. I think I usually get mine off of eBay, like in big lots, but you can get them off of other sites. Basically any site that sells like a lot of things that people can list, you'll find them. I think even Etsy will have them, Amazon has them, AliExpress has them, Taobao has them, like basically anywhere. I've only ever seen them come out of China. They are made to be like the Barbie Fashion Fever stands. They're a little bit differently sized though, so keep that in mind. And I'll kind of show you some solutions for those because people will think like, oh, it doesn't fit exactly around the waist of the doll, so it's not a good size. But I do lots of things to make it work. So let me kind of show you around. They can be a little bit loose on their stand and still stand perfectly fine. So like these dolls have really tiny waists, and so do Monster High dolls, but they fit just fine. La-Di-Da dolls, I'll generally use my Monster High stands because they are a little bit too thin, but they do also fit on these stands, as you can see. I want to show you, though, that I'll use them for larger dolls, too. I don't think I have any on there right now, though, but for larger dolls, let me cut away and I'll show you what I do with that on a doll. All right, she is standing on a stand. Look at that. And the stands are not that tall, right? Like they're made for dolls that are this height. So what did I do? And she stands pretty well. It's not perfect. If she was on a shelf that wasn't getting like rocked around a lot, she'd be fine. And even like minor rocking is okay. See? And what I did was I put it around her leg. So I do this for Mycene dolls too, because sometimes they're a little bit tall for the stands. Put it around the thigh. You'd be surprised. It actually works pretty well. You can also use rubber bands as opposed to the actual little waist hugger piece. You can use wire. There's all sorts of different workarounds. 1,000 Splendid Dolls, again, I'll just link their channel in the description. I absolutely love them. They have a video on how they custom make their own doll stands, but you can use those sorts of methods in conjunction with stands that you already have or stands that you purchase as well. And I wanted to show you this too. These are action figure stands. I got these off of Amazon, but you can probably find similar on other websites as well. I just haven't needed to yet because I bought so many back when I did. But these are kind of annoying because you actually have to sit here and screw all of the pieces together, but these are actually really nice. They hold mini dolls really well, and mini dolls are notoriously difficult to find stands for because most other dolls stands do exist for their size. There's some kind of doll in the market that had their stand, like a Monster High doll or something, but those don't, so it's really frustrating. For tinier dolls, I'll also do stuff like this sometimes. She's supposed to fly, so that works, and I think it's great. You can also cut the back, so I could just slide her down and have her standing if I wanted to, and then just cut the back of the stand. I have done that before, like a lot of times, so that's also an option. I just want to like really emphasize it's about getting creative with it, but the majority, and I mean the majority of my collection is on some variation of that exact Fashion Fever stand. Like, all of them. And you can see with my Mycene dolls, some of them are around the waist, but a lot of them are around the legs because their shoes cause them to be a little bit too tall. So, doesn't always work for them. So that's my workaround is the leg. And the leg trick works mostly for dolls that don't fit properly. If a doll comes with a stand, but it's not ideal for them, or it's not like the best, or if like another doll needs it more, like the Lottie Dolls need the Monster High stands, that Betty Spaghetti needed a Monster High stand, she wouldn't stand well in the other stands, I will give them over. I will relinquish them. My Monster High dolls are either on stand, this is a mess right now, but they're either on the stands that they came with, or on the, sometimes I use Ever After High stands for them too, or they are on these clear stands, and it works just fine. I have seen people cut these stands as well because they are kind of big. You can cut them. I personally don't like doing that. I feel like it messes with the stability, but other people swear by it and have no issue with it. So I'll leave that up to you. But yeah, if you were collecting this size of fashion doll, price-wise, convenience-wise, look-wise, I cannot recommend these Fashion Fever stands enough. Again, they're aftermarket. Just look up doll stand, find something that looks similar to that, and you've got it. It is probably identical. And they usually run about like 50 cents each, so the more you buy, though, the better the price is. So you can get like 1,000 of them for comparatively quite cheap if you are looking for that. And I wanted to show you this. I wanted to show you how they come. So they come various different ways. This is the most recent batch that I got. Came like that. All the different pieces come separate, and then you just build them. So I'll show you. Just stick them together. I'm using one hand, so you can tell how easy it is, right? Yeah, and sometimes they'll have issues. If you're having trouble getting this piece on for whatever reason, trim the top, and then it will usually just slide right on. See? And there we go. All right, we are in my office right now to show you various things. So I wanted to show you the different types of wooden shelving that I have that are available and tell you the pros and cons of them. So these shelves are from Target. These are very cheap furniture. I think these literally cost like $40 each. That's a really good price, but that does come with some downsides. You can't put a lot of weight on them, for example. They are quite weak, so please make sure you pay attention to that sort of thing. And if you're planning on moving, these might not make it. I've had IKEA furniture, which is better quality than this, but still not great because it's made out of particle board. Or not particle board. Oh, what is it called? It's basically this like shredded up wood, and then they put like a thing over it, so it's not super like strong like a wooden shelf would be, like an actual wooden shelf would be. But these work fine for me, and I've moved with them, not these ones but other ones, and it's been fine. But IKEA shelving is stronger than this, and I will have issues with it sometimes, so keep that in mind. But anyway, these are good for dolls. I personally prefer the more open shelving, like my wooden Vitsto shelving, but these are an option. With the Target ones, the only real con that is different from the others is that they're smaller, so they are less tall and they are less wide. I think they also are like, I think they're about the same depth actually, but I'll walk you around and show you some other ones that I do have. So, I guess I can kind of show that. This is currently a storage area, but you can use these grid shelves. You just need to check the heights and make sure they're good for your dolls. The grid shelves are actually good for dolls, but it's not good for dolls if you're trying to have them on risers, like have more than just one row of dolls on display, so bear that in mind. This is the IKEA version next to a Target version. You can see they are very different in dimension. Let me back up a little bit so you can really see. Way wider, about the same depth, I believe. Let's look. Yeah, about the same depth, but the, like, this way, and the height is very different. So that's good to know. These are really nice though, because the IKEA Vistros are not versatile. You cannot, well, they're versatile in a lot of ways, but you cannot change the shelf heights. You can change the shelf heights on these. The only thing is, like, I would prefer these not be on the top, but there's a fixed shelf on all of these, so I think this is the fixed shelf. Yeah, you can see. The fixed shelf, you can't move. Is this the IKEA one or is this the Walmart one? Pretty sure this is the IKEA
one.
I just decided to end the video. Like, I didn't film an outro, sorry. But that's it for this one. Hopefully this was a good, like, quick start guide for collectors, I guess. I still don't know what I'm gonna title this video. I'll figure it out as it's uploading. But if you have other tips or you have, like, different opinions on things that I said, be respectful, but you can comment down below and hopefully it'll be a good place to discuss and find new ideas. Thanks so much for watching, and let me know if you want other videos like this on different aspects of collecting. I'm really hoping to do like a full series on just doll collector stuff in general that I wouldn't necessarily think needs an entire video, but I'd be happy to do it. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.